Hello and welcome to another Mario Party 7 minigame review!
Last time we reviewed Number Crunchers, a fine enough minigame which goes under the other average 1v3 mic minigame, Be My Chum. Just simply fine. But hey, we're covering the other section of the mic minigames, the free-for-all type. Yeah, that's right, 2 mic minigames in a row. Oh god. This one being called Oil Crisis, and get this, the only minigame here that starts with an O. Interesting, I know. So let's get to this minigame, shall we?
So here's how you play this minigame. You and the other 3 players are on a go-kart track with oil barrels and, well, puddles of oil. Your job is to try to make it as far as you can without your tank running out of fuel. You have options to go left or right by shouting them in the mic, or have the option to use a mushroom if you're in a pretty bad situation or you feel like you're at risk of losing, which is pretty much the entirety of this minigame. However, like the other mic minigames, it drags on for 2 goddamn minutes. However, unlike the other ones, I feel like this one justifies its 2 minutes, because it actually does something pretty entertaining with its concept. Because, well, here, you actually have more freedom to do, especially with the mushroom. Like, I wouldn't expect something that can give you an advantage to actually make the minigame more interesting. Like, moving just left and right on its own is kind of limited, especially since you can feel like you're in some pretty bad spots. The mushroom fixes this. However, this minigame still runs for like 2 minutes. Like 2 entire minutes. And yeah, that could probably get someone bored pretty quickly. Yeah, but I would still actually like this minigame for its basis. Would I call it the best minigame? No, just not really. But if I wanted to choose any of the mic minigames we've played so far, out of both the Mario parties I've done, just to let you know, between like the over 100 minigames, I'd probably choose this out of all the mic minigames. And for what we've had out of all the mic minigames, that is actually really sad. And also, there is a possibility of getting a max score of 200 here. However, you'd have to be really skilled to do that. But, don't hold that back against this minigame. You know what? How about we do this? Go to the overall thoughts now.
Overall, Oil Crisis is pretty familiar to a lot of other mic minigames in the free-for-all type. They just try to get the highest score or something. Like, this kind of just is interchangeable with pretty much all the other 3-star mic minigames. It's just unbearably mid. Well, not unbearably mid. It feels pretty tense at points because you don't know how far you're going to get in the grand scheme of things unless you actually use your mushroom or are just really good at this minigame. Like, it's a minigame where competition is just guaranteed, and I really like that. The mushroom does add a lot of interesting plays, and also with the amount of just how big your fuel tank is overall. That is pretty creative, and gives us more of an edge on all the other mic minigames so far. This is probably, sadly, the best one we've had, which, for this being a 3-star minigame, that's actually really sad. And that's it for today. Not again. Come on. Load the slide already. There we go. Up next, we're reviewing Peel Out. See you guys then.